Yeah.
Okay. So, it's pretty obvious if you watch the video that the horse is much better on the right than on the left. And a big part of that, I think, because that's typical, is people tend to spend a whole lot more time on the left side of the horse than on the right. So usually what that means is the horse hasn't had all the inappropriate human behavior on the right side. Because we do so many, what's the term? Thank you. We have this situation where humans act like humans. Horses act like horses. We have hand with an opposing thumb and we reach out and grab. Even if we're just going to reach out and pat, we have this reaching out motion. So when horses are living a natural life out in the wild, their main predators are things like wolves, coyotes not so much, maybe a newborn foal that hasn't got up yet, but wolves and the big cats. And some bears will eat a carcass that's down, but they don't tend to take the horse down when it's up on all four feet. So the predators are always reaching out, the wolves with their jaw, and they'll catch the horse up here on the windpipe and block their air. It's pretty hard to do things when your wind is cut off. Or they'll come on the hind leg. They'll come on the hind leg right in here, and they'll hamstring them. And then they're three-legged. And then the rest of the pack moves in, and it's done. We're done. Same thing with deer and moose and elk and all the rest of those guys. So I like to give the horse a chance to know that I'm not that kind of predator. And you'll see how I slide down this rope. Now this is important. You'll see this over and over and over again. I slide down, put a feel on, and then wait. And I'm closing this way, not this way. So I'm going to close from my little finger. And as soon as the horse yields, now that's not a really honest yield. She's up, she's got her adrenaline and all of that, and she's looking around to make sure that there's no scary wolves or people or anything happening. And that's just because she's not in her cognitive brain function state just yet. So, yeah, great. So if we're going to put side reins on her. So if we understand that our behavior and how we behave can trigger the horse's fight, flight mode.
Parasympathetic?
Yes, exactly. We're talking the sympathetic, parasympathetic. And we don't want to engage the fight, flight. We don't want to engage that. And you see, as soon as now her head was coming down, she was lengthening her neck. So I have a soft feel on here. It's probably only about, I'd say maybe a pound, but I keep the contact steady. Now you see she's playing with the bit there, but that's not a stress play. That's her starting to switch to that parasympathetic problem-solving communication stage. And I'm sure that as you watch this video, you'll be able to see the change in the horse's state. Now, what my goal is, because this is probably going to be a fairly high-profile jumper. And so she needs to be able to handle all of the stress that's at a big jumping show. So it doesn't matter if there's a heron flying off the pond down at the back there, or if it's, an 18-wheeler coming with a 13-horse rig and a living quarter on the front of it, and they've come all the way from who knows where, and it comes by just as she's getting ready to, do her Grand Prix round. Or is there a VIP row alongside the triple combination with big umbrellas on it, and people moving and talking and laughing and clapping, and when a horse is having a round and it's a popular horse and rider, and they're approaching a difficult obstacle like the water jump for a triple or something, all of a sudden there's no noise, you could hear a pin drop, and then when the horse clears it, you have this big cheer. Or if it knocks a rail down or steps in the water, there's this big oh, and you might have 1,000, 1,500, 25,000 people, depending on where you're at, make that sound, and it's scary, So she has to be able to tolerate what I call environmental stresses. So we started on the left, then we went to the right. I'm going to change and yes, I have this line that's it's over 45 feet long, and yes, it's on the ground, and I'm all good with that, because if I had to do what I was doing there with that all looped up in my hand, it's like, well, if you can do that, good for you. I can't, and I'm usually wise enough to step around it. I make a practice of being wise enough to do that. So I'm going to go back on this left rein, because that's where she was in trouble. Now, I haven't seen her flash light on her eye since just before we went out to do that lunch. See, so that things are getting better. Back to the bed. I put this on the bed because I know I can't hold her on this rope halter. And I don't know too many people that can, right? And I want to be able to talk to her in a way that she can hear me. And if that means putting this on the bed, then I put it on the bed. And very often I do. I'm just going to ask her to yield over here, and then I'm going to go back out and start again. I'm so grateful to be able to do this today.